group of people here tonight. Welcome to the swear-in to protest against the Victorian government enacting legislation to give the police the power to issue on-the-spot fines for so-called offensive language under the Summary Offences Act. What have we got to say? 1, 2, 3. I think they get the picture. Now, you should all be aware that under a trial introduced by the previous government, the Victorian Police, who have so happily come out to support our cause today, a big hand for the Police Association. Who are currently involved in their own disputes with the Victorian government, I may add. The Victorian Police already have the right, under a trial introduced by the previous government, to issue on-the-spot fines for swearing in public. So people should be aware that some of our friends standing behind us today may in fact take that right and issue on-the-spot fines. The fine is $238 something, $240 to line it up by the time you pay for the cheque and put a stamp on the envelope. $240 for saying swear words in public. And I do believe that right, or those fines, also include signs being held up, offensive gestures and the like. So having said that, we want to send a strong message to the Victorian public that they can take their laws and okay. While we can have a bit of fun with this law, there are a number of important and very serious implications. The first of which is the encroachment on our civil liberties. This government and the previous government and governments right around Australia, I want to make it clear here that we're not attacking the current Victorian government any more than the last one or any less than the last one. The government is the government and they're conspiring, both sides of the House, to take away our civil liberties. It's not just swearing in public. It's the planned introduction of armed guards on train carriages. Bullshit! It's the right to search people indiscriminately for weapons in certain areas in certain times. It is the fear that we all have. When I was a little kid, I was brought up thinking that when anything goes wrong, you turn to a copper and they're there to help us. You never thought that, Jacob. I was taught that. It's now soon coming to a point where an otherwise law-abiding citizen can be walking down the street, see a police officer and be fearful that they might be searched for weapons, fearful that if they've had one or two under their belt and a police officer approaches them and they tell them to get fucked, they're going to be issued with a $240 fine. All right? Fearful, travelling late at night. My daughters, my female friends in particular, being scared of armed guards. We've all had experiences with unarmed guards of public transport and how loutish they can be. Imagine armed guards late at night overreacting on public transport. What happens if you tell one of them to get fucked? You'll get more than a $250 fine. It is part of the encroachment of our civil liberties. It is also a step towards marginalising the people who are already marginalised in this society. I could say it here, and I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to get a fine tonight. I might get one in the mail, they know where I live. But it's not going to be middle-aged, middle-class men like me who the police are going to pick on. It's going to be the unemployed. It's going to be the street people. It's going to be the people with intellectual difficulties. It's going to be the homeless people. It's going to be the Indigenous people. It's going to be the people who are already abused and thrown out by this system, to people who haven't got very much more to lose. These laws against offensive behaviour are already laws in Victoria under the Summary Offences Act. Currently, the law needs to arrest a person, take them before a beak, who we hope is properly, briefed, is properly educated, has their head around the laws to determine whether something is or isn't offensive. And at the moment, the vast majority of these cases are thrown out of the court. They're a laugh. Everybody knows that telling someone to piss off cannot really be deemed as offensive in 2011 in a pluralist, open society like Melbourne claims to be.
Lock it out!
Furthermore, the laws are not going to stop what the right-wing shock jocks and others are saying is loutish, thuggish behaviour. It's not going to bring an end to the media hype of violence in our streets, of carnage in the streets of Melbourne overnight. It is just pandering the law and order question, trying to breed fear and divisiveness in our community. When I was a lad growing up, fair enough, in Sydney, not in Melbourne, swearing, my father worked on the wharfs and used to swear like a wharfie, in fact, but it was an everyday part of life. It's part of the Australian tradition. An English friend of mine commented on the Facebook page for this event yesterday saying, trying to stop Aussies from swearing, you've got to be fucking kidding. It's damn un-Australian, these laws. And the Australian tradition of peppering language with a piquancy of swear words has not led to the breakup of society. What is leading to the breakdown of this society is the control mechanisms, the harsher penalties, the breakdown of our civil liberties that are being foisted upon us incrementally by this, the past, and no doubt successive state governments. And we're here to tell them enough is a fucking enough. Now, like most good swear words, we're going to keep this short and sweet here tonight. It's a cool night, it's Melbourne, it's winter in Melbourne, and it's almost an attack on your civil liberties to keep you here too long. But we're just going to hear from a couple of speakers, and the first one I'd like to introduce to you tonight is the only one with the gumption to walk down those steps, the only parliamentarian who's prepared to come out and support our protest for free speech and stand against the erosion of our liberties, and that's Colleen Hartland, MLA for the Greens. Can we give it up for Colleen?
I'm not going to use any expletives tonight. I couldn't quite believe it when we got this set of legislation, because I would agree with everything Jacob has said. What's a swear word? We've got various ones up here, and I'm not going to repeat them because I'm a nice girl, but is farty poo bum a swear word? Is windy bottom a swear word? I asked the Attorney General yesterday to give me a list of what are swear words, because we don't know. What is a swear word to me is not going to be a swear word to someone else. So the police have to actually have a list of what the words are. So, and I also wonder whether there'll be police on duty after dinner in the bar in Parliament, because I've heard a few expletives in there as well. So shouldn't some of those people who are making the laws be getting the same fines? As we're going to impose on the community? I think the police have got a lot more better things to do than to be issuing $240 on-the-spot fines for swearing. I think it's silly, but it's also about the race to the bottom on law and order in this state. And it's not acceptable, and we shouldn't tolerate it.
a couple of people to keep people off the gutter, that'd be great. We don't want anyone to go fucking splat at a rally like this. Okay, our next speaker tonight has worked on a whole range of social justice issues, whether we're talking about prisoners' rights, whether we're talking about the rights of asylum seekers who are coming to our country, whether we're talking about Australia being involved in useless and stupid fucking wars, killing people overseas, which really fucking offend me, I've got to say. If the state government wants to crack down on offensive behaviour, I recommend to our comrades in the Police Association that they get down to the Department of Defence and lock the whole lot of the fuckers up, because that kind of behaviour. But our next speaker has been working on all these issues and more for many years, and I'd like to introduce her from Socialist Alternative. Put them together for Ali Hogg.